so finally finished the storyboards. I know, I didn't think I was gonna get there either. Especially for those of you who watched me live stream it. I'm very, very efficient. And those VODs are still on the channel if someone wants to for some reason watch me mostly procrastinate. I'm gonna be real. So yeah, this is my chapter 1 storyboard. In the back on the iPad is the storyboard references. I will talk about that later. But yeah, I've got it as this little book. Yeah, I did it so that I can have a look and see what it looks like flowing, if it was actually published and printed in a nice book. Can I make that a bit higher, actually? My stand has been broken, and I can't seem to get it to adjust to be low enough to sit on my desk, so I have to sit it between my legs, which is kind of weird. And yeah, one of the bits fell off, so it's falling apart, but that's okay. So, I'm gonna flick through it. It does technically, I guess, spoil the whole chapter, but that's fine. This stuff's backstory stuff anyway. I wouldn't really count any of this as serious spoiler material. And besides, if you're looking about behind the scenes, you're kind of likely to potentially get spoiled. So yeah, we've got the first sort of page, and I did do this across a fair while of time, so my style does change a fair bit. So you've got text. So this is mostly like establishing shots, and my main two guys are color-coded, because I actually saw it, in the, I want to show you guys what I'm referring to. Give me a sec. Now, could I pause and find the page and then restart? Yes. But you guys deserve the chaos. So yeah, it's in the arcane book. Actually, I'm gonna do what I just said. Give me a sec. Okay, here's what I was referring to, with the colored storyboard. See how they've got Vi and Powder, color-coded? So yeah, that's where I got that idea from this art book. It did take me a second to find it, so I'm glad I spent that time just finding it. So yeah, that's where I got the idea to highlight the characters, especially for some of these pages where I kind of just drew them as stick figures. So having them color-coded means that it's easier for me to remember which character's which. Towards the end, it's sort of, in the middle of doing this, I did draw basically, I've nearly filled up a sketchbook almost entirely of just these two characters. So I'm pretty confident, especially Lux, my main character's design, I can draw pretty much without reference because I've drawn it enough times. And I'm going for a pretty simple art style for this, if I can do that. So yeah, this is the double page spread that, usually has your colored artwork, and I haven't figured out what that's going to be. But that will be drawn last. So yeah, that's why that's there. And then this would be that blank page that a lot of chapters have. I don't know if this is a thing, but like, especially in Shonen Jump. Wait, is My Hero Academia here on my desk? There it is. Just ignore everything falling over. Yeah, so okay, we've got that's the volume page, that's the content, so that's page 1, which, oh yeah, the pages are usually, that one's also usually colored, isn't it? Not always, but I think it's pretty often. So yeah, you got your first page. This is the color page spreads. Usually, it's just an artwork that's unrelated to what's going on. My Hero Academia is actually pretty uncommon in that regard for it to actually be story rather than things. But yeah, and then you've got that blank page. So that's what that is. That makes sense. I hope that that's clear. And then so for these, then I started doing little, so basically got these tiny pieces of paper so I could work out what beats I wanted to hit without needing to worry about panel layout and stuff. So each page has that stapled on as well as, the flow. And then, yeah, you can see me some of these first ones, because this page I had drawn a few times, and yeah, I ended up adjusting the way it was facing to have more of that page flow that you want. I just realized I'm holding the stand instead of putting it down. What am I doing? Professional right here. So yeah, we've got this page, which is mostly the two characters interacting and dialogue, and yeah, so you can see follow which character's which. And I usually like to keep the characters on a specific side, if that makes sense. So see how when they're standing together, yeah, and I don't like to switch which side they're on until maybe a page or something, unless I do something that specifically shows them switching. I feel like that makes it easier to follow. So see how yeah, you have them sort of switch sides when we switch page, if that makes sense. rather than on the page. I mean, it's not super essential, just because your character design should make it clear who it is, but it's something that I felt like I don't know why I was specifically keeping it in mind. It seems like a weird thing for me to actually think of. So yeah, see how like on that side, on the same side. This page I think was one of the exceptions, just because I also like to have them on the side of, you know, if we've got dialogues being said by that character, I like to have them over there, and then just the order of dialogue meant that I had to kind of switch up where they were with in regards to each other. So that's kind of why I had this pose where he's looking behind him, so that I can, yes, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, we've got like staples kind of making it difficult to get to actually look at stuff, so I don't know how annoying that's going to be, because this is the first time I've done it like this. So yeah, then we've got, you know, them running in a panel bleed, so this is my favorite one I did, which is probably one of the easiest to actually follow what's on earth is going on. So yeah, you want to look at this panel in all of its angy glory, like that's actually telling me what I need to do expression wise. Most of the time I didn't really put that much effort into each thing, just so that I can get it done. I'm working out things like where speech bubbles go, which isn't my strong suit, because my handwriting is tiny, so it can be really difficult for me to actually know how much space speech bubbles need, because my idea of how much your writing you can fit is small. Like, yeah, I had a teacher for distance ed who needed to keep glasses in the desk just for me. Oh yeah, well, the characters that aren't the main two don't get color-coded, because they won't be sort of particularly important outside of this chapter, so I figured they don't deserve a color. They don't get a color because they don't matter, whereas other main characters will probably get colors. I mean, I could color code just based on chapters and stuff, but yeah. And yeah, that's the last page of the chapter. Those are just, because, you know, they're pieces of paper folded in four. Because yeah, I kind of forgot that you've got like 21 pages for, like, the chapter, if that makes sense. And yeah, get the sand. Let's zoom in a little. So yeah, I've basically got any reference images I used in that process, I have saved them, because I've had the issue before where I use references during the thing and then forget, like, you know, close all the tabs, and then when I go to actually draw the page, I forget what all my references were. So this will hopefully help, so that I don't, you know, remember what I was referencing and stuff. And yeah, like, especially when I first did it, I had a lot of, I would attribute random pages. Eventually it just got to the point where these are the templates that I use from Monitor Comics. So, he's another YouTuber guy. He's got, like, I bought on his, I think it's Coffee. Basically, I bought a heap of templates, but you can also make them if you don't want to pay for them. Oh, you guys are getting a lovely look at my cursed drawings and stuff. But yeah, see, these are like templates I was making. So basically, if I go to edit, do I still have the, yeah, I just took a page. Now there's probably better ways to do it, but yeah, just lowered the opacity and drew what the different pages were. And there's an ad which we're not gonna watch because ads are lame. Sponsored by, yeah, no, I don't have sponsorships, but that would be a pretty funny segue if I did. So yeah, I did get to do the last, I don't know how many of these I did on live stream. I think it was possibly like 5 pages maybe. I don't know, I think I was over halfway. Yeah, that's my storyboard. Not much else for me to really say. I definitely went for the simple approach. I wouldn't, like, not everyone would have quite as little detail as I do. For example, if you just like doing more detailed, actually, hold up. I can demonstrate. I am not just talking for nothing. I actually have proof of, wait, where is it? Because there's a thing where is that what this tab is? Yeah. So these are different actual people's storyboards. So yeah, so you can see, like, this one's more sketchy. This one's very much just no details, a little bit of facial expressions, but then this one, like, you know, is a bit more finished, and then like this, these ones look really cool. So yeah, storyboarding is very personal, and also depending on, like, if you're in a team, you'll likely have to, you know, be more detailed if you're saying like a writer-artist duo, or if you're doing it as part of a project, like, or maybe if you have an editor. Like, I'm not sure that what I did would be good enough to show to an editor and have them understand what on earth is going on. But since I don't have those things, like, the only one that has to be able to follow it is me. And hopefully future me can. Yeah, I'm really excited that I actually got through this. I feel like I should have more to say, but there's not really a lot to say. Like, I definitely found doing this helpful. And then, like, what I would do is that would give me an idea of, okay, how many panels would I need? And then I'd look through the templates for, you know, a panel layout that had as many panels as I need. And especially taking into account which panel is the most important. So you want your biggest panel to, you know, either be a panel that just needs to be big because you've got details in there that you want space to be able to draw, or where you want the emphasis to be drawn to. So, like, on this page, the emphasis is on that. This one has two sort of, I mean, like, so yeah, that one has two sort of major kind of panels. This one that's easy to explain how, like, or like how they're outside of it. So yeah, just considerations. I didn't want to really, like, the most important panel to be the small, or like this one, how the fact that he's crying is important, so that's why I made sure that was big. So that's something to keep in mind as well on storyboarding, is just, yeah. You can also play around. If I was a bit quicker at doing these sort of things, I'd probably do multiple layouts for a page and then pick the best one, but this took way too long just to do this, because I kept procrastinating, because storyboarding is definitely the hardest part for me. This is where, like, your brain is actually being tested. It's like, it takes hours just to draw a page of stick figures compared to normally, like, I am a pretty quick artist. I usually don't take particularly long for full illustrations, even if it's fully colored. This stuff takes a while, so that's something to also be aware of, is don't feel bad that your storyboarding is taking a while, despite, you know, you're not drawing particularly detailed things, because this is where, like, you've really got to think. You've got to get, like, you should have your script, but this is where you're really translating it, especially depending on the amount of detail you put in your script for directions as to what you want it to visually look like. Like, maybe it can be a bit quicker in the storyboarding phase if your script is more specific, or if you just have a better idea. Like, for example, sometimes I would have struggles where I just couldn't find a reference image for what I was thinking of. Stock images are really helpful, I found. Stock images have literally everything, it seems like. But yeah, sometimes it would be difficult, like, you would be searching stuff up. Oh, I think I was looking up speech pose or something like that, because I had a guy that, you know, in the chapter, who's, like, speaking to a crowd, so I was like, oh, well, what poses do people make when they're making speeches? And it just kept giving irrelevant stuff, like, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but it kept giving the gesture that Elon Musk made on a specific day kind of thing, and I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. So yeah, sometimes it can be difficult, is like, and I like, in the storyboarding phase, you don't necessarily need references, I don't think, but I like to have it just so that, like, because I'm not the best at visualizing stuff in my head. If I actually can see what something looks like, it's really funny how, like, you just will think you know what something looks like, and then you're like, oh, no, I don't. Yeah, that's the storyboard. It's done. So I guess that means that I'm up to actually starting the pages, which I might have to wait until next payday, as as my inking pens are all dead. I need to get a better pencil, because I like using mechanical pencils, as I don't need to sharpen them, and, like, because I had them, but then they're not good enough. They're like really cheap, and you've tried to put the lead in, and they just don't work after the first use. Like, once you run out of the initial lead, the lead that you add in just doesn't work very well. So yeah, that might delay me, as I just need the art supplies. But I'm happy that this is done. And yeah, I'm thankful for everyone that came up to the live streams. That was really good. That helped me get through it a bit. So yeah, I live streamed for it looks like I did it for 4 days. So yeah, as you can see, it's my beautiful YouTube channel. And yeah, there's the 4 VODs, which I did 2 weeks ago. So I've been procrastinating on these last 2 pages, these of storyboards for 2 weeks. That gives you a rough idea of how bad this was. This is just not the thing that I enjoy. But yeah, I'm gonna go now because my phone is dying and I've yapped on long enough. Woo!